Hello and lava diena. I recently got back from a trip to Lithuania, particularly Vilnius, which is the capital, and I found it delightful. I was introduced to Lithuania through my wife, who is Lithuanian, and through her, so are my children. And over the last decade or so, it's kind of stolen my heart, particularly like this trip. The first time I went to Vilnius, maybe 11 years ago, I remember thinking it felt a little abandoned. Like there were people there, but that just didn't seem like a lot of life. And in this visit, like it's just become this teeming international city. It's really amazing. I mean, it's always been like this kind of fun city where you see these kind of old buildings and houses that could have been stolen from northern Italy or something. But they're sitting right next to these kind of brutalist Soviet blocks with a playground in the middle because Soviets. And then these kind of like post-revolutionary new style buildings, which are really architecturally amazing. Like the new additions to the airport are really cool. So it's just really, it turned into this international city on me when I wasn't paying attention, and it's really just a wonderful place to be. But complaints. I did look around for good spirits to buy, and there's not a lot of options. It is being distilled somewhere out there is samagonas, with these sort of grain moonshine, basically. But you can't buy it because they haven't legalized it yet. Let's see. There's also gira, which is very fun. Gira is basically fermented rye bread. Tons of fun. But that is another one which I also just didn't have a lot of room in the luggage because my kids bought so many toys on this trip. But when I came back, I decided I wanted to hunt down at least some beer to try it. So that's what we're tasting today, is all the Lithuanian beers I could get at my local binnies. And we're just going to do them in a row. I have my dump bucket here. I'm just going to pour them all in this here stemless wine glass. And I'm going to review. I don't think I'll give them a traditional point score. I will score them on the international scale of 1 to 5 basketballs because Lithuania loves their basketball. We're going to start with this. Volfas Engelman Rinktinis. This is a kind of a pale lager. I know I'm not pouring very well, but I want to get a nice head. So initial notes, I'm not expecting to like any or all of these. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I mean, Lithuania, I found like they're okay. Like they're fine with their basketball team kind of being disappointing a lot of the time, as long as they can beat Spain in the finals every so often. Like I only want 1 or 2 of these to be good, and then I will consider it a win. So this is think like Stella, but Lithuania. That's basically the style they're going for here. I did have a pint at a restaurant while I was there. I thought it was fine, and we're going to try this version. The other thing I wanted to note is I do not know how fresh these are. This was brewed February 26th. Okay. So, hopefully it's still good. But I don't think it'll be an issue with a lot of the. But some of the Lithuanian beers you will see, they really focus on live beer, lack of filtration, just keeping it as close to the stuff as possible. So those are the ones you really need to worry about brewing dates, because I don't think I have any of those. Those tend to be made more in the north of the country. All right, Volfas Rinktinis. What is the ABV on this? I'm babbling. Oh, geez. I think it's around 5% or so. That kind of territory. On the nose. I mean, getting some nice bitter hops. Some nice leafy beery hops. I mean, it's very. I mean, it smells like Stella, but just a little bit of a step up. It's a little bit sharper in the details. I'm getting some like whole wheat bread, a little orange peel, kind of leafy on the hops. It's not a complicated beer by any means. It's all right on the palate. Yeah, kind of medium-bodied. Less hops than I was expecting, actually. They're providing balance. But it's actually the malt and the carbonation that's kind of ruling this. Yeah. Whole grain bread, whole wheat bread. With a little bit of like sweet malt extract, a little bit of something like that, and leafy hops again. I would love to have a little bit more, actually, a little bit more bitterness on the back end of this. This is already a better start than I expected. Not complicated. Doesn't have a ton of intensity to it. Finishes okay. Not great. It's okay. Honestly, this just begs for some pizza or something, or like a bacon cheeseburger. Really, yeah. This is a bacon cheeseburger beer, and in that genre, like, this is fine. It's not expensive. It's under $3 for, I don't know what, like a 17-ouncer. Yeah, I will give this 2 basketballs out of 5. It's okay. All right, let's move on. Put that over here. We'll dump it in the vacation bucket, which I don't think is leaking. One of them is leaking. All right, that can go there. And we'll do our little rinse and move on. So that was Kaunas. That was the Kaunas offering. And this is Panevėžys, which is further north, kind of in the center of the country. And we have got here Kalnapilis Grand Select, which is also a European-style pale lager. So think Stella. What is the ABV on this? Boy, it would be nice if they put it on the bottle somewhere. 5.4%. So a little bit stronger than your average, but we're not that high up there. Okay. I don't know what to say about this. On the nose. Very similar nose. Maybe getting a little bit more yeasty. I mean, so you're really getting like a wine lees, like think. I've had some really leesy Pinot Grigios recently, so there's a little bit of that kind of like fermenting bread wine lees thing. Intermixing with some, again, it actually smells lighter on the hops. There's a little bit of a green floral thing happening, but I think it's just as much the yeast as the lees. Malt, yeah, or graininess, yeah, it's there. Again, lighter. Just a little touch of like, not even whole wheat bread, like half grain wheat bread, something like that. But yeah, this for me on the nose is more dominated by the yeast than the hops or the grains on the palate. Is there a brewing date on this? Yeah. Wait. 2020, yeah, March 2025. Which is weird because this doesn't taste as fresh as the Volfas did. It's very oily. Very yeasty. I feel like I'm drinking, fermenting bread a little bit. Just a little hops, not enough for me. There's a little... Just a little malty, kind of breadiness happening. Not too much. Mouthfeel is not as good as the Volfas. Is this better than Stella? You know what? It's still probably a hair bit better than Stella, but it's definitely, if you choose to see this choice on the shelf, you want this one. You absolutely want the Rinktinis, and that is my opinion. I will give the Kalnapilis Grand Select 1 basketball out of 5. I do not like it. If I were to break down the basketball, maybe like 1.5 basketballs. But do you really want to saw a basketball in half? That's an act of violence right there. All right, moving on. Oh, this will be fun. Zhiguly Barrel 95. This is 9.5% alcohol by volume. Boy, howdy. I remember drinking stuff like this, random Eastern European lagers and, back in college. Because for some reason, I liked them. And they were also cheap. And this is cheap, too. So if you're looking to get messed up on a budget and you don't want to buy King Cobra or Hurricane or something, here's another option. Zhiguly Barrel 95. So let's see if it's good. Especially brewed, highest quality light barley malt, aromatic hops. I don't know why I'm reading this. Let's see what we got. I really want this one to be good because it's cheap, but it's so much stronger than the others. Yeah, it is. We're getting a little boozy on this. It's not too bad, actually. It's. I've had a lot worse. Yeah, we're getting the same kind of like fermentary, fermentary florals, like fermenting bread thing. Lame Pinot Grigio wine lees thing on this. Very light on the hops. Just like to throw a touch of, like dried herbs, dried grass in there. Just a little bit. Grain. I'm sure it's in there in theory. I'm not getting a whole lot. Maybe a little bit of like what is the terrible multigrain bread that bodybuilders eat sometimes? Ezekiel bread. It smells a little bit like Ezekiel bread. A little disappointing on the nose, but on the palate. Honestly, not too bad. I mean, the alcohol is contained. I can tell it's boozy, but it's not. It doesn't taste rough in any way. It's got more body than the previous two options. It leans sweet. Like this drink's pretty sweet. Honestly, not as bad as I was expecting. I mean, actually, okay. This is okay. I would take this over a King Cobra any old day. What else am I getting here? Fermentary flowers, florals, that kind of thing. kind of some roast malt coming through, actually. Tastes a little bit like a Vienna lager, like a really strong, like really creamy Vienna lager. That's not that great, but is okay. So like, yeah. Just a little bit of like heavy honey mixed in with like, malt syrup, something like that. touch that kind of grassy herbal hops thing. Honestly, I like this more than I like the Kalnapilis. I think this is on par, genuinely, with the Volfas. I think I will also give this Zhiguly Barrel 95. I will also give this 2 basketballs out of 5. I would drink that. I recommend it, and I'm surprised about that as anyone else. All right, now we're going to move on to some serious stuff. This is Svyturys. This is made in Klaipėda, which is on the coast. So if you are on the coast of Lithuania, on the Baltic, anywhere up there, whether it's Nida or Zventoy, or any of those places, you will see this all over the place. And I managed to score 2 of them. They also make a different one, which is a Hefeweizen. I did not see that one, but I got these 2. And here, I think, are we switching to ales here? No. This is still a lager. All right, this is the over here for now. Svyturys Ekstra, which is a Dortmunder style or export style lager. What is the strength on this? 5.2% again. So we are back in more modest territory. It definitely smells darker. There's a nuttiness to this. Also more hops. Yeah, we're definitely getting a little bit of hashish in there, like dry hopped hashish. But nice. Some darker malt, a little bit of like a dark rye bread thing, but not like full rustic Lithuanian rye bread. No, this is like regular American grocery store dark rye bread. There's some florals in this too, some dried flowers. But overall, it's, I don't know how to put this. It feels like they spent more money on this because I'm just getting more hops, and then immediately thinks, hey, maybe this is going to bring a little bit more balance than the previous options. On the palate, I wonder if this has a brewed by date. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, that was me reacting. It took a while for the finish to kind of kick in. This is a tricky one. It's very light. It's lighter on the palate. It has a creaminess because it's relatively high ABV, but it fades pretty quickly. But then, like way on the back end, suddenly some nice hoppy bitterness kind of creeps in. And wine nerds will sometimes use the phrase "hollow on the mid palate." That sounds like empty talking until you experience it. Let me tell you, friends, this is hollow on the mid palate. Arrives kind of just fine. Has a little bit of florals, creamy sweetness, some yeasty notes. Multigrain bread. And then on the middle of the palate, it it just kind of falls away for a while. And in the finish, it still falls away for a while until it kind of creeps back in with some bitterness. This would be like a great soup beer. Like, if I'm ever having some, like, I don't know, make me some like chicken soup with some like pickled Eastern European stuff in there. I think I would really enjoy this. But it's not my favorite. It's beating the Grand Select, but yeah. I mean, if I'm on the beach or something, I'm eating mozzarella sticks, I'm fine with that. That's, I don't hate that. That's delicious. But, here in the context of evaluation, just not my favorite. All right, let's move on to the Baltijos. Sorry, doing the best I can. Also from Svyturys, also from Klaipėda. Now this, again, don't confuse it with I'm going to look it up. I had it open a minute ago. I'm going to look it up because it's bugging me. The Baltas, which is a different beer, which is a Hefeweizen. This is not. This is a Märzen, which is basically an Oktoberfest, right? It's a little bit stronger, I believe. 5.8%. I love Oktoberfest, so hopefully this is good. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Milk chocolate. Well, on the darker side of milk chocolate, drizzled in like rustic forest honey, like dark. There's some like some nuttiness in there, some burned nutshells. Hops are not evident. I'm sure they're in there. No, there's just a little hint of leafiness in there to kind of give color, but this is really ruled by the grains, the malt. It's not a complicated nose. I mean, if you've had sort of big dark Oktoberfest, you've smelled this. It's chocolate, it's dark honey, maybe some coffee grinds in there, or like cold brew coffee. Touch of like dark cigar leaf, the nuttiness. Okay, on the palate. Definitely leans sweet. This for me is not really a kind of a summer beach sipper. This is more of a kind of warming yourself up by the fire in the middle of spring or something, or in October, I guess, kind of beer. But it's good. It's got balance. It's got just enough of a hoppy, bitter, leafy thing on the back end that it's not just like you're drinking, sugary bread. We're not in that territory. Very creamy. Lots of coffee, chocolate. Natural cigar leaf. I would love to have a little more hop on the back end, but honestly, it's the wrong beer for the season. But I think this is probably my favorite of the beers I've tasted so far. Let me try the Volfas one more time. All right, I guess I'll be cleaning that up later. Or now. Sorry, there's a gigantic spill of beer on my table. I'm going to pause. Yes. So there is an idiom in sparkling wine that if you have to ask whether your sparkling wine is cold enough, it is not cold enough. And I don't think that applies quite as strongly to beer, but there's some truth to it. All right, so the Baltikos. I like this. I think this is my favorite so far. I will give it 3 basketballs out of 5. And let's move on to the last but biggest bottle. This guy from, where are these guys from? Davra. This is, I had to buy this. This is Chicago's Alus. And this, I think it's the only ale in the tasting. And it is from, I'm going to mess up the town name, Pakruojis, which I have not been to my shame. Again, I'm not pouring this very well, but clearly this video is not going to be exemplary as it is. So this is an ale. It is a, what kind? Oh, it's a red ale. I mean, it's an American style red ale, because of course it is. And let's see what we got. Oh, this is nice. I mean, yeah, so it's just a very nice balance of stuff, so it's hard to pick out individual elements. Okay, there's some florals. Some of it is from the hops, some of it is from the fermentary stuff. I think this is the coldest thing here. I added this to the freezer about half an hour before everything else. There's also a little bit of leafiness from the hops. We are not in Ganj territory. This is leafy, more leafy hops, leafy floral, and the malt is really quite beautiful. It's there's a little bit of kind of burned whole grain bread in there. Actually, I mentioned gira earlier, the sort of fermented black bread thing they have in Lithuania. This is a little bit of if you could like hop a gira. There's a little bit of that character in here. Like hopped floral black bread beer is kind of what this smells like. Little nuttiness, little touch of like stoved red Virginia tobacco, maybe. But yeah, it's a very integrated nose. It has intensity, but it's hard to pick out the individual elements on the palate. Ooh. Well done, Davra. I like this. A little bit like the Baltijos, it leans sweet. We are, although I feel like it's bringing in, it does have more of a hoppy character, more of back-end bitterness than the previous beer. Yeah, this is quite nice. Very creamy in the mouth. It does have that gira thing, the liquid black bread on the front end. but a little bit creamier and less sweet. Gira tends to lean sweet. This is not quite there. And you have a nice burst of kind of leafy hops and flowers as you head into the finish. It's not the most complicated thing in the world, but it pulls it off very well. Yeah, I dig this. I think this is a very good beer. If I could give half basketballs, I think I would give this 3.5 basketballs. But since I can't, I'll give it a full 4 basketballs. And well deserved from the fine folks at Davra. And that means here is your lineup. This is the winner. Davra Chicago. Followed closely by Baltijos from Svyturys. And then kind of in the middle, you've got the Volfas, which kind of exploded on me. These are all 2 basketball beers. The Not again. All right, whatever, we'll figure it out. Oh, Lord. All right, okay. The Svyturys Ekstra, which also just exploded on me. No, the Zhiguly barrel 95, which kind of surprised me. I quite like this for something that is almost 10% alcohol. And then kind of in last place with a score of 1 basketball is the, in my opinion, not terribly good Kalnapilis Grand Select. And that is your video. And here are your Lithuanian beers. Yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, see you next time. And hopefully I can get a hold of some samagonas, but we'll see. Bye.